Starbucks out with some positive news today amid the coronavirus outbreak and amid all those more negative headlines. Yahoo Finance's Julia LaRoche is here with the scoop. Julia, what is Starbucks doing?
Yeah, guys. Well, if you go back to their earnings call for the fiscal first quarter, they said that they had closed more than half of their China stores. Now, they operate 4,100 stores in mainland China across 168 cities, and that was in response to the coronavirus. Now, CEO Kevin Johnson is out saying that 85% of those 4,100 stores across mainland China are now open and that they are seeing, quote, early signs of recovery as some of these cases or the rate of the cases are starting to slow. So that's a good sign, guys, because you're talking about, I guess, doing the quick math here of what was closed, of more than 2,000 stores that were closed. Right. If 85% are now operating, that means about 35-ish% were reopened. Really good sign. Also, they opened yesterday the Shanghai Roastery. This is that 30,000 square foot huge tourist destination.
And other roasteries.
I
have to say, they're very cool.
I missed the Shanghai Roastery by opening by about a week. But, I mean, I'm talking about that thing was huge success. I suppose it still is a big success, but that's also a good thing, too. And CEO Belinda Wong, CEO of Starbucks China, was in there talking about, look, it was a really difficult decision, but it was the right move to close the stores. They want to keep the partners safe. That's what they call their employees. They want to not expose the customers as well. So the stock sold, pared back some of the losses. Last I checked, it was about flat based off this news.
Do we know how their competitor Luckin has been doing?
I haven't heard anything about what Luckin's doing in terms of their plans to reopen. This is the first that I'm seeing like a major company come out, though, and say we're starting to reopen stores in mainland China. And also keep in mind, guys, China is Starbucks' second largest market. It's also their fastest growing. At one point, they're opening a store every 15 hours.
That was the stat I wanted to hear you say again. Wow.
And I also want to point out here, it's still too early to quantify the financial impact. They have not been able to get through the full assessment there. So that is something to keep in mind. It's something we will want to watch. And next month, Starbucks will have its annual meeting of shareholders. I'm sure this is a topic that will continue to come up.
It's encouraging, too, because it appears to contradict a lot of the more negative headlines we're seeing all week that are obviously sending stocks down about the spread to different countries. I mean, I think the biggest dark cloud this week has been more countries coming out that hadn't previously been named. Italy, South Korea, Iran, Austria, Switzerland. And also Starbucks for a while there in the last few months had been named along with like retail, Nike, Under Armour as the companies that have the most exposure there. But this is good news.
But keep in mind, Starbucks is the world's largest coffee chain. They operate 31,000 stores worldwide, 75-ish markets. So CEO Kevin Johnson said in that letter that they're taking learnings from their experience in China, and they're going to look at their other markets and apply it there because we don't know how this is going to progress. There could be potential for more outbreaks. That's what it sounds like. So something to keep in mind.
That's what I was wondering. We saw all those closures in China, but we saw the closures in China. Will those closures then move westward, right, and start seeing them in Europe?
Right, that's what we haven't seen yet.
Like in Milan.
In Italy,
they opened the roastery in Milan. They started opening more stores in Italy because they had not been in Italy since since Starbucks began, and that was what inspired Starbucks. Right. They opened in Italy in the fall of 2018, I believe.
Right. So. Howard Schultz saw all those Ethan Wolf man types sitting on the sidewalk.
Well, because Europeans are very serious about their coffee.
They drink more coffee per capita than anybody else.
Right. And they typically, every time when I was living abroad, they used to say, "Ugh, Starbucks. We prefer our coffee over here." Well, now it's going to be spreading.
Sure. All right. Thank you, Julia.
Thanks, guys.
Good update from Starbucks.